You know, growing herbs and edible plants in containers is a great way to be able to enjoy them on decks and patios and outdoor living spaces. Many of these plants are very attractive to look at and put on a very good show. Of course, some of these ones like thyme here and sage are really great for cooking with, and Jonathan Bozak, I'm sure, will be giving you lots of ideas and things that you can use in some of his favorite recipes. But also a good few of them are aromatic, and when you crush or touch the leaves as you brush by them on a patio or deck, you'll get another lovely experience from all of the aromatic types too. Now there are many sorts that you can grow, from the lemon scented verbena here that is just wonderful. When you touch it, it releases a lovely lemon fragrance and just fills the air with a refreshing smell. Then there are things like the purple leaf basil here. This is the ruffled leafed one that looks very good in a container and also is really good to eat. There are things like French tarragon. This is an essential herb in every good cook's herb garden. There are things like the little thyme. These are wonderful plants for putting in at the fronts of containers. And then there are simple, very easy to grow herbs, but ones that also are very useful in the garden. This is chives. And if you'd like to have a go at growing a few in containers, let me show you just how easy it is. Now, as you probably noticed, I'm using these large fiberglass ones here. I love the fact that in a relatively small space, I'm able to grow a lot of plants and mix them up so that I've got decorative purposes as well as culinary ones. But there are other sorts of containers you can use too. For instance, this biodegradable one here. This is one that will last for up to 3 years, and at the end of it you can crush it and put it in a compost pile and it will totally decompose. No plastic to recycle and no waste. And there are other ones that have pretty colors and decorative shapes, all different sorts. Just make sure that all of them have a good drainage hole in the bottom. Another thing you might like to think about doing, particularly if you're in a town garden or in a small area, you might think about growing a window box, something that you could put on a sunny windowsill. Even in the autumn time when it gets cold outside, you can bring your herbs inside and you can still have them then for an extended period. And this little window box is ideal for that. Now, if you want to have a go at doing it, it's important that you first of all make sure, like the other pots, that there are holes in the base of it. Then put in some gravel or some other sort of drainage material in the bottom of them. And then you can start to think about compost. And the compost that you use is up to you which ones. Maybe you'd like to have a word with your local garden centre and get their recommendation. So then just fill your compost up to about 1/3 or just slightly less than that in the bottom of the container. Then when you choose your plants, look at these lovely plants here. These are grown as part of the edibles line from Footprints Plants. Now what's important is that these plants are grown sustainably. That means that they're really healthy and of course also very good to eat. They come in these biodegradable pots, which means that you can put them into the compost, pot and all. And the other thing I would suggest, and I'll tell you why in a moment, is that when you go to buy them, get more than one. In fact, I would suggest in a container like this, you get 3. So when you take them, just pop them into the compost. Make sure that the lip of the pot is down beneath the edge of the little wooden trough, and then just position them so that there's about comfortable room there for 3 of them. Fill the compost in and around them and then water them, and you've got, as you see, a lovely little window box full of chives. Now the neat thing about this is, of course, this is portable. So you can move it around, you can grow it on a sunny windowsill, you could grow it on, say, a patio table, and of course, as I say, you can also bring it in when the weather starts to turn cold. But there's one more little tip I want to show you, and that's why with this, why I suggest you buy at least 3 plants. One for this week, one for next week, and one for the following week. Because when you're in the garden, what you do and you're ready to harvest them, all you do is gather them up like you see, and then with a pair of shears or scissors, you just go in and harvest your chives for this week. Then next week, when it comes to it, you're ready to chop again, so you go again. And that way, as you see, you've got a succession of chives to use fresh from your own patio or deck. So you've got one for each week, and then the cycle repeats itself through the whole of the growing season. See, it's fun and very easy to do, and also very delicious. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us, and it's very good for our environment too.